Very well could be. And of course, the two number 33s are going to tip us off from Cassell Coliseum. A tremendous crowd on hand. They have been pushing to get the crowd in here all week. Football coaches have gone online. Kenny Brooks and his staff have gone online to get the crowd in here, and they have obliged. Starting five for the Hokies, Georgia Amoore at the point. Asia Shepard, one of the greatest shooters in ACC history, along with Kayla King, Azana Baines, and Liz Kitley. Starting five for the NC State Wolfpack. There's really a lot of similarities when you look down the rosters for these two teams. Raina Perez, such a great point guard. Kai Clutchfield, so many times for the Pack. Jakia Brown-Turner has been playing great. Kayla Jones and Elisa Kanane in the center. First points of the game for the Pack and Brown-Turner.
A good start for JBT. She has played really well in the last 6 weeks, is scoring the ball a lot better. They need that offensive punch from her on the outside.
Good defense as Kanane reached her hand and refused to let that interior pass get to Kitley. Here goes Brown-Turner again.
She is just so smooth, Jen. Had 14 points, led all scorers in the first matchup between these two teams. She makes it look easy with how effortlessly she gets to the basket.
Well, the other team that has a chance to claim a share of the regular season title, along with NC State Louisville, boy, did they come out on fire in their game earlier today on the road at Notre Dame. My goodness, the Cardinals with a huge win in that one. Let's see if NC State tries to make a similar statement here as the top team in the league. Brown-Turner tried to take a shot again. Instead, she travels, so that'll turn it over to the Hokies.
And Jen, speaking of Louisville, the only way Louisville can claim a share of the ACC regular season title is if NC State loses tonight. So it feels like the entire ACC is watching this game because UNC, they know they can jump into the top four, as we discussed in the Open, if Virginia Tech loses. So I feel like everyone's watching this one, Jen.
Why wouldn't you be?
Well, that too. There's also a great game.
North Carolina taking care of business earlier, so they did what they needed to do. Kenny Brooks now wondering if his team will rise to the challenge. He told us this week he does not shy away from telling his team everything that's on the line. He doesn't try to hide it, doesn't try to add pressure, but he feels his team's experienced enough to handle it. Drive to the bucket, and it is good from Kayla Jones.
That is a veteran move from Kayla Jones, navigating around Liz Kitley, who's second in the ACC in blocks. Does a great job of avoiding the long 6'6" arm from Kitley.
Here is Kitley, immediately surrounded. Kayla King. Virginia Tech can really shoot the three. They have the top three-point shooters by percentage in the ACC in their starting five. There's one-on-one, Kitley and Kanane. Kanane with the bucket, and it's an 8-0 NC State lead.
Kanane making it look easy. You really never see Kanane and Kitley guarded one-on-one throughout ACC play. They always draw double teams, but because they're guarding each other, you'll see a lot more one-on-one in this game because they can handle it because they're each so good defensively.
Kitley, that's a little more what she's used to, getting banged up on the inside with a couple of different players. NC State does commit the foul. It's on Jones.
They start one-on-one initially. Kayla Jones comes over and helps out a little bit because Kitley got that first step on Kanane, and that's a good foul. Make Virginia Tech earn their first points from the free throw line. Don't give them a layup, and Virginia Tech still struggling. Jen, I think this is where the home court can add a little pressure because these fans, you can tell they want to explode. They want to cheer, and Virginia Tech's gotten off to a slower start. They may be feeling that pressure to perform in front of their home crowd.
As you said before, Kelly, a chance for this Virginia Tech team to make some history. They have never gotten a top four seed in the ACC tournament since joining the league. Kanane thought she had it over her good friend Kitley, but Kitley stood her ground. Asia Shepard, all-time leading scorer for the Hokies, around and out.
These are what we call unfriendly rolls. This is supposed to be Cassell Coliseum, Virginia Tech's home gym. They've had 2 threes rim out and a layup.
Kitley, got to be quick interactions. 2 on the shot clock. Shepard has to launch. Wolfpack making it tough on Kenny Brooks' team. His 6th season in charge of the Hokies said this is the hardest working group, the best group he's ever coached here. Wants this group to get rewarded with a good crowd. Check that off. And with a good seed as Jones goes to work again. And now Virginia Tech needs to take a timeout because it has been all Wolfpack at the start. 10-1, NC State in the lead on the road in Blacksburg. NC State up 9 here early in the first quarter. Kelly, you want to look back at this last play for NC State and show why this makes it so difficult for Virginia Tech.
Yes, NC State has run this twice. So first of all, you have shooters on the wings, JBT and Crutchfield. King and Shepard can't help. Cunane goes and sets this pick. Let's roll this, guys. She's setting a ball screen for Kayla Jones. Watch Liz Kitley. It's Cunane. She can't help. Greg has to get under that screen and get to her spot and make Kayla Jones take a floater or a contested 2. NC State has been running that to perfection.
Well, I think we know what Kenny Brooks drew up in that timeout. He said, look, we got the ACC's all-time three-point leader. We have our all-time leading scorer. Let's get her the ball, shall we? And Asa Shepard hits a 3. First field goal for the Hokies in the game.
It's always a good idea.
In her range, too.
Whew. It's always a good idea to get Asa Shepard the ball, Jen. But how about Elisa Cunane? We talked about how she's shooting the 3 ball. That's one of the differences between her and Kitley. Kitley just doesn't shoot the 3. But Cunane has been shooting it well, and she can make about 1 of those a game, and it's really hard to guard.
Yeah, 41% on the season, as there goes Kitley with the answer.
You could watch these two play one-on-one all day. That was a strong move from Liz Kitley, keeping Cunane off balance, using her pump fakes.
Jones beauty, nothing but net. 6 points in the game for Kayla Jones, and 1 away from 1,000 in her career.
Kayla Jones has made her mark on this game early. She is a 5th-year senior. She came back to NC State with 1 goal in mind, to win a championship. And she is a very capable scorer and showing that so far.
Deasia Gregg, number 11, and off the bench for the Hokies, trying to get it inside to Kitley. No easy task. Brianna Perez, so quick with the ball in her hands, inside to Cunane. Tough pass. Kitley going it alone, and Cunane adds another 7 in the game now for Elisa Cunane.
What a move from Elisa Cunane. She has come out of the gate hot. She has heard people, some pundits, perhaps she heard me, talking about Liz Kitley as the player of the year, and she doesn't want to hear that anymore, Jen.
Hey, there's one way to prove it. Go head to head, show what you can do.
And this is so physical inside. Before Cunane even got the ball, these two were battling. It was tough to get the ball into her, but guys, it is so difficult. Even when you're Cunane, you're 6'5", you're scoring around the outstretched arms of Liz Kitley at 6'6". You have to know exactly where you can get your shot off. And right now, it's very early, Jen. We're 6 minutes in, but Cunane's winning this battle between these two so far.
She did commit the foul that put Asa Shepard on the free throw line. That's the first personal against Elisa Cunane, just the 2nd team foul for the Wolfpack. And Shepard very reliable from the free throw line. She has 5. This is the 2nd meeting of the season between these two teams. It's a very low scoring affair in Raleigh as Jones gets wide open in the paint and continues her good start. 8 points. She goes over 1,000 in her career. But the score in that last one in January 23rd, 51-45. And even though NC State won it, as Kitley goes to work, it is tough to get anything in here other than the action. Let me just get back in focus, because back and forth they go. But it was not a very good offensive performance by either team in that game.
Which is interesting, Jen, because you're right, that first game was pretty ugly. It was a pretty ugly offensive game. So far, this first quarter has been pretty from both of these teams. Of course, as I say that, Jahia Brown turned their air balls, but overall it has. And I think the biggest issue for Virginia Tech so far is not necessarily their offense, but defensively. NC State is doing whatever they want. They are getting option 1 or option 2 in all of their sets, and the Hokies have to be able to buckle down and get some stops.
Westmore's team 9 for 11 so far in this game. 9-point lead. Crutchfield playing some tough defense. And that is certainly in the repertoire for Kitley.
So Cunane can shoot the three, but I would say Kitley is a little more consistent from the mid-range. So these two, they're very similar, but they just have little details that are a bit different. And Kitley has been on fire with her mid-range game as of late.
Lisa Cunane was the preseason ACC Player of the Year in the league. She goes to work again. Hard to stop. 9 points in the game for Cunane.
Yeah, Cunane's having fun. She's having fun battling inside with Kitley, and that was a great pass from Kayla Jones to get the ball to Cunane exactly in her stride to score with the right hand.
Now it's Kitley's turn. Her fadeaway rolls out. On the year, we showed you the numbers. Kitley's numbers, I don't think there's any question, are better overall than Cunane's, but she also plays a lot more minutes. You could say she has to do a lot more. She has had to all season long. Three-pointer bounces out. Crutchfield, best three-point shooter by percentage on this Wolfpack team. Amor off to the races. Had her shot blocked. Back and forth, up and down the court they go.
Really good defense in transition. Westmore was a little worried about NC State getting back in transition, balancing the need to offensive rebound, but also knowing the Hokies love to run, and NC State's done a good job in that facet so far.
Cunane, the offensive rebound. She's now in double digits as the Wolfpack continue to just shoot the ball at a blistering pace so far in this game. Nearly 70%.
Jen, Elisa Cunane is sending a message. She is absolutely sending a message. This is one of the most determined starts that I have seen from Cunane in her career. She is in a take no prisoners mode. Liz Kitley's one of her best friends, but right now, in between the lines, she is out for blood, Jen Hildreth. She is dominating right now.
I see it, Kelly, I see it. And even though we know the type of person Cunane is, and Westmore told us earlier today she doesn't care about the individual accolades, maybe not, but I agree with you. She's coming out to make a statement tonight, and so far she's done just that. Final few seconds of our first quarter. The Wolfpack in the lead. Hokies have had a hard time getting their shots to fall, but our battle we promised between two ACC box office. People were watching Cheers on TV and The Simpsons, and gas, oh, can we bring that back, was $1.34. So it has been a while since the Wolfpack tasted that regular season title in this conference.
Jen, tell me more about 1990.
Oh,
it seems like a magical
on.
Time.
You be quiet over there. NC State, of course, has won the tournament championship, ACC tournament championship, the last 2 years, but that regular season title has been a long time coming, and they want to own it outright. They do that with a win tonight here at Virginia Tech. Gregg's been shooting the ball a little bit better here as of late. Doesn't take too many threes. That was just her third make of the season. But you know what, Kelly? They needed somebody to get them going.
Must needed bucket right there for Gregg. And notice, too, Virginia Tech is giving Kitley a break right now. NC State is giving Cunane a break with Camille Hobby inside. It feels like whichever coach sends their star to the table first, the other coach will send the other one, because you don't want one on the floor without the other.
Asia Shepard did hit a shot earlier, but the threes have been few and far between. The Hokies 2 for 8 from distance. They're the top three-point shooting team in the conference in terms of makes. Tomorrow, the Tournament, A History of ACC Men's Basketball continues on ACC Network with Episode 7. That's 1984 to 89 at 9 Eastern. That's followed by Episode 8, which is 1990 through 97. New episodes of the 10-part documentary available every Monday at 9 and 10 Eastern through March 7th. You can always watch past episodes on the app. So Kelly, you can learn more about the ancient 90s if you choose. Watch the tournament.
I think I just might do that, Jen. Jada Boyd. What a luxury for NC State to bring her off the bench. She was the 6th woman of the year in the ACC last year. Super talented 4-player.
Diamond Johnson also went off the bench, perhaps a leading contender for 6th player of the year this year for the Wolfpack in the ACC.
We'll talk awards a little later, but Diamond Johnson is the 6th woman, 6th player of the year. It's not even close. That was one of the easiest awards to award. The other ones are difficult, and we're talking ACC player of the year when it comes down to Cunane and Kitley. That one is a lot more difficult, but Diamond Johnson, for sure, the 6th player of the year.
Shepherd just a little short. Kenny Brooks telling her what he wants from her is just always to be ready to shoot. She was ready. Just left it a little short on the front iron.
I know Perez missed that shot, but that was a great pass by Diamond Johnson. She looked off the defender and passed it cross court.
Kayana Traylor with a bucket and a chance to go to the free throw line. That's getting this crowd fired up. They were ready. You said it earlier. They're ready to go.
Kayana Traylor's a left-handed player, so she attacks right, still able to finish with her left and get to the free throw line. She does a great job of getting to the free throw line, is one of their more aggressive players in terms of getting to the rim.
Camille Hobby committing the foul. Traylor, the transfer from Purdue, one of 4 1,000-point scorers on this Virginia Tech team. So when Kenny Brooks tells you this is a special group, he is not kidding as Johnson goes to work, tries to drive around Kitley, one of the best shot blockers in the league.
Kitley's in right now. Cunane is not. Keep an eye on what Westmore chooses to do. We've talked about this, Jen, that Cunane only plays 25 minutes a game. Kitley plays 33. But this game is still close. I think Westmore is trying to get Camille Hobby some run right now.
Here is Hobby with the basketball. She has some fond memories, Hobby, of the last time playing in this building. You and I were reminiscing about that three-pointer she hit to send it to overtime as Boyd adds a couple more. Virginia Tech wound up winning that game. So the last time NC State played here in Blacksburg, the Hokies pulled the upset. NC State ranked number 2 in the country at the time. Kitley from the free throw line is good. She now has 9. Cunane with 11 to lead NC State.
That's automatic, and Cunane, you can see on the top right of your screen, is heading to the scorer's table to sub in. That's probably the easiest look that Kitley's gotten all day, and of course it was without Cunane on the floor.
See if the Hokies try to take advantage of the absence of Cunane again.
Kitley's got to get a touch. Cunane's not in there. Get her the basketball.
She has it now, taking on Hobby. And there was a foul on the floor before she had a chance to take the shot. Well, this is the second to last regular season game for Coach K right here, Duke and Pitt. It is only on ACC Network and the ESPN app. That's coming your way on Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. The 7th-ranked Blue Devils in the lead in the ACC, squaring off against the Panthers. Our coverage begins at 8 p.m. Eastern. That was a second personal on Hobby on the play. 15 on the shot clock now. Kitley, as you said, does not choose to take those threes very often, and here is Cunane back in to defend. 8 to shoot. Amore will take it. Kitley. She and Cunane batting it around.
Kitley would have grabbed that rebound over any other post player in the ACC, perhaps instead of, or without Maya Dodson. Not Maya Dodson, but because of her size, Kitley can grab that rebound over almost anyone, but not Cunane, because Cunane can match her size and matches her ability to high point the basketball.
Kitley, the second leading scorer and rebounder in the ACC. She's first in field goal percentage. Johnson to Cunane. Too strong. Tried to go in and get her own rebound, and that will be the second personal against Elisa Cunane.
And notice Asia Shepherd, she knew right away. She was on the floor. She had just fallen down, and she was pointing at her teammates, pointing at the bench, saying, that's two. That's two on Elisa Cunane. That is a veteran, smart basketball player in Asia Shepherd.
And that will send Cunane right back to the bench. We'll see how that continues to play out. Another foul against the Wolfpack. Jakia Brown-Turner, the guilty party, her first.
And Jen, this is huge. It can't be understated how big it is that Cunane is now on the bench. I don't think Wes Moore will play her for the rest of this half. He hopes not to. And let's see if Kitley can take advantage of it and go to work.
It's a 7-point game. NC State is led by as many as 11. Make it a 5-point game. There goes Kitley.
One of my keys for NC State was you have to keep Cunane out of foul trouble. When you look at the games in which NC State has struggled, the Georgia loss comes to mind. Cunane was in foul trouble, and it makes a huge difference for this team.
Hobby tried the three. Shepherd as Kitley sends Johnson to the ground with a move and then is fouled. And this is as fired up as I have seen Asia Shepherd all season. She's a chance to pull the Hokies even closer. 4:29 left to go in the second quarter from Castle.
It's her senior night. She's getting the crowd fired up, and she is one of the best three-point shooters in the history of this league. Most in ACC history in terms of three-point makes, 387. That is absurd. That's a crazy number. She's a great shooter, but overall she's a great player too. Can do everything else for this team and a better leader as well, Jim.
And one of our record setters as we look back on this regular season in the ACC, Shepherd, also the all-time leading scorer at Virginia Tech. You look at Maria Gakdang, what a season she has had with 63 blocks. That's a record in the single season at Boston College. The beast, Lorela Kubai, all-time leader in rebounds and games played. Kelsey Marshall's been knocking down those threes at Miami. And Elisa Cunane, we already told you, has the free throw record all-time. It's been great when she's gotten to the line in her career for the Wolfpack. Speaking of free throws, that's 3 for 3 now for Shepherd in this game. And she stays perfect from the line and makes it a one-possession game.
Credit Virginia Tech, when they got down early, a 10-1 start for NC State, they did not panic. Kenny Brooks never panics. You can pan over to him during any point of the game, and he looks calm, cool, and collected. And Virginia Tech took on that attitude as well.
Big bucket there from Reyna Perez, her first points of the game for NC State. Wolfpack had gone about 2.5 minutes without a basket. There's Kitley. You said she loves that mid-range face-up, and Kenny Brooks telling us that is absolutely part of the plan to work that into how she gets her points tonight. And now no Cunane on the floor, remember, with 2 fouls.
And Jen, I think without Cunane on the floor, NC State has to start doubling Kitley. I don't think they have any other choice right now.
You can see the numbers for those 2 players, Kitley and Cunane, already trying to put that first meeting of the regular season behind them. They pretty much just equaled out each other in that one. They both struggled. They were a combined 5 for 29 for a total of 15 points. They've already eclipsed that in this game. 11 points for Cunane, 13 for Kitley, and we're not even at halftime yet.
They've each put on a show. I would say the first quarter was the Cunane quarter. She had 11 points in that first quarter. Now she's in foul trouble, sitting on the bench with 2 personal fouls. And this second quarter has been the Kitley quarter. So I guess we'll see what happens for the rest of this quarter and then heading into the second half.
Kitley 6 points in this quarter, 7 in the first. Diamond Johnson on the free throw line. She's 2 for 2. Those are her first points in the game. Deasia Gregg back on the floor for the Hokies. As Emily Lytle goes to the bench. King missed her last 3-point attempt, but typically a very reliable 3-point shooter for Virginia Tech. Boy, Johnson is speedy. Finds Hobby for 2.
Hobby is so solid. She has earned her minutes behind Cunane. She's one of the reasons why Cunane only plays 25 minutes a night, because Camille Hobby has earned her time on the floor.
Asia Shepherd adding to that record-setting 3-point total. She's at 389 now for her career, more than any other player in ACC history. 4-point Wolfpack lead.
Jen, she's going to get to 400 with the postseason. 400 threes is honestly one of the most absurd things I've ever heard. Just want to get that in there. That's insane. I don't care if she played 5 years. I know she had the extra year. 400 threes is just a different level.
Kayla King wants to play. The Hokies were struggling from 3 to start this game. They were 1 for 6 in the first quarter. Now they're starting to come alive. The lead is 1 for the Wolfpack.
This is why it's so hard to guard Virginia Tech. They have surrounded Liz Kitley, the most dominant player in the ACC, with shooters galore. But how about Camille Hobby on the other side, Jen? She's holding her own.
Back-to-back buckets for Hobby to try to quiet this Virginia Tech crowd. Gregg, she'll try the 3. Nobody really there to rebound for Virginia Tech.
Well, part of that was a great box out by Camille Hobby, keeping Liz Kitley off the glass.
Jones going to work.
Jones needs more touches in this time without Cunane. Every time, it feels like every time Jones has touched the ball, she has scored. She's 5 for 5 from the floor.
You're right. Kitley. Hobby
wants to shoot that face up.
And instead, she travels. That defensive stop has the Wolfpack fired up. I want to remind you that Thursday at 10 Eastern, our Nothing But Net crew has you covered. They'll wrap up the ACC Women's Tournament second round matchups with highlights and full breakdowns of each game, analysis, and insight you can only get in one place right here on ACCN and the ESPN app. I know you're ready for Greensboro, Kelly.
So ready, Jen. My bag's already packed. The second I need to get up there, I'm going to hit the road. It's going to be a great tournament.
Crutchfield gets the roll, and the question is, we know NC State's going to be the 1 seed. Where is Virginia Tech going to be? How early are they going to play? The Hokies win this game tonight. They get a double bye. They finish in the top 4. They lose. They drop out of the top 4. North Carolina steps in to get the double bye. Kitley.
Liz Kitley.
NC State just played great defense for 25 seconds, and Liz Kitley just hit a ridiculous shot. That's what just happened on that play.
Had been a 6-0 Wolfpack run. 5-point lead now. Johnson launches. A little over a second for the Hokies to work with, but an incredible first half. Third-ranked NC State has led by as many as 11, but the Hokies came roaring back into this one, Kelly. A 5-point advantage right now for Westmore's team.
Look, it's very telling for NC State. With Cunane in foul trouble, they still lead by 5. I thought Camille Hobby played some great minutes inside with Cunane on the bench.
Both of these teams have already set a record for ACC wins in a season. 16 for NC State, 13 for Virginia Tech. We'll see who picks up one more. Right now, it's a 5-point game as we send you to Drew Carter and Muffet McGraw in the studio. Championship.
I do, and the numbers show it. Since this league expanded and they needed a double bye for the tournament, there has not been a team that has reached the final without a double bye. So that's very important if you want to truly have a chance to win the whole thing.
Kayla King hit 1-3 in the first. Got an easy offensive rebound for herself right there. She'll take the 2.
Sometimes the shooter is the best one to go get that O board because they shot the ball. They know if it's long, they know if it's short. They've shot the ball so many times, they know generally where some of their misses go. So great job by Kayla King.
Brown Turner did well to keep that in, and then Crutchfield, nice little flare at the end for the finish. She has 4.
NC State has so much depth. They're starting 5. You've got 3 super seniors. You've got Cunane and Brown Turner. And the 3 players they bring off the bench, Hobby, Boyd, and
Johnson.
there's Diamond Johnson, obviously.
Your 6th
all
player
3
of
of
the year.
them, yes, all 3 of them could start anywhere else in the country. I firmly believe that. Maybe besides South Carolina, Stanford, those schools, Louisville. But those 3 are incredible ball players coming off the bench.
Zada Baines had her first points. Here is Canaan going to work again over Kitley. Her first point since the first quarter. She had all 11 in the first 10 minutes.
I love that they went right back to Canaan. She sat on the bench, perhaps got a little cold during that time, but they went right back to their bread and butter.
Little soccer action there from Shepard. That's not allowed. She kicked it after she lost it. So that'll stop the clock and give NC State a chance to set with the inbounds.
That's a heads-up play. I'm not sure if Shepard did that on purpose, but when you kick the ball, they do have to blow the whistle, and you can prevent, as long as they don't think you're doing it on purpose, you can prevent a fast break.
Well, either way, Pack still gets a good look. Jones now with a dozen. Does Asia Shepard need to assert herself a little more in this matchup? The fade away from Kitley. No, there's a foul. Let's see who it's against.
Foul coming against Wolfpack. Number 25.
Kayla Jones, I believe, is the player.
First team.
If it is, that'll be her second personal.
Checking in for your Hokies, number 11, Deasia Gregg.
Deasia Gregg. Demo, as they call her, transferred from Gulf Coast State and Georgia Tech. Now in for the Hokies, and Kitley on the line. She was 1 for 2 from the free throw line in the first half. Had the first point of the game for the Hokies. Remember, it was a bit of a slow start, Kelly. You thought maybe Virginia Tech feeling this atmosphere a little bit. All that was on the line for them. It was 10-1 NC State to start.
I thought they were feeling the pressure early, Jen. Sometimes you can feel more pressure at home, especially when you're having a crowd like this that is one of your biggest crowds all season, even though Virginia Tech has built this fan base over the year. But they did feel the pressure early. I think in the second half, they've settled in a little more.
Asia Shepard certainly had her moments. 10 points for the Hokies' all-time leading scorer. She drives it now, kicks it to King. Amor takes her shot off the front of the rim. Canaan down on the ground behind the play, now finally getting back into the offense. And a foul away from the basketball against Virginia Tech.
Foul coming against Hokies on number 33.
Tomorrow, you can watch the tournament history of ACC men's basketball on ACC Network, episode 7 from 84 to 89. That's at 9 Eastern. Followed by episode 8. That's 1990 through 97. New episodes of the 10-part documentary available every Monday at 9 and 10 Eastern through March 7th. And you can always go back and watch anything you might have missed on the app. Another foul. Well, they're calling it tight here. Let's see. Kitley picked up her first a moment ago. And now this one's against Kayla King. That's her second.
Two somewhat ticky-tack fouls here. And Jakia Brown turned. That was right in front of the official. Sold it a bit. But the officials only called 3 fouls total on Virginia Tech in that first half. I noticed Wes Moore telling the officials, hey, maybe you should even this out a little bit. And it seems they're doing that.
Brown Turner got her own rebound, put it back in. She has 6.
Crutchfield has done an excellent job on Georgia Amor tonight. She has struggled to get any good looks at the basket, and she's 0 for 5. Crutchfield is known as a lockdown defender, and she's showing that tonight.
Great defender, great three-point shooter. Doesn't necessarily take a ton of them. She has 163 in her career. That does rank 8th all-time at NC State, but set a record last year, a single-season record, shooting 47%. Crowd loving it, and Amor making it count.
Jen, did Georgia Amor hear me? She was 0 for 5. I said Crutchfield was doing a great job. And Amor with the nastiest crossover of the evening right there to free herself up.
Amor, the Aussie, going to work again.
Okay, Georgia Amor, I take it all back. I forget I said anything. This has been an impressive little 5-point run from the Aussie.
2-point game now. NC State out in front. Reina Perez trying to quiet the crowd. Not this time. Shepherd rips down the rebound. Saw an opening. Went through a lot of traffic, and it winds up going out of bounds off of Virginia Tech and Shepherd.
Look at this crossover, Jen. Look at the separation she gets from Kai Crutchfield, and then to knock it down, and then on this possession, the next possession, taking it to the rim. They need Georgia Amor to be in double figures.
41% three-point shooter. That's the best in the ACC. And then Elisa Canane showing a rare bout of emotion on the play.
Wow, this is a tough one. You could make the argument this was an over the back. Let's take another look at it. Whew, that's tough because Canane got so much higher than Kitley. So she was able to pinpoint the ball and grabbed it before Kitley really had position. So I think that's what the officials are thinking. That could have gone either way, but look, Canane will take it, a three-point play, and I love how aggressive she's being, attacking that offensive glass.
And now it is 2 fouls on Kitley. So Kitley has 2, Canane has 2. And you know that those 2 are not done going at each other yet, not by a long shot. Here's Kayana Traylor, back to Amor.
Crutchfield does not want to fall for that crossover again, you can tell.
Greg with the 2.
What a game, Jen. What a game so far.
NC State playing for that outright regular season title. Virginia Tech playing for the double bye in the ACC tournament, and maybe more. Who knows what that could mean NCAA tournament implication-wise. Shepherd slicing through the defense, but what hands by Perez to take it away.
Perez so quick getting her hands on the ball.
This game has everything. Everybody's diving on the floor. This time it is Amor. Her Virginia Tech Hokies have never led. They're within 3 right now of the 3rd-ranked team in the country. This crowd has been going bonkers in this game for Virginia Tech. The Hokies trying to pull the upset as they did last year when NC State came to town. Going to stay on this end of the floor.
I think Virginia Tech thought that ball was off NC State. You could tell quite a few white jerseys did not go after it. So NC State getting another possession here.
Reina Perez trying to make the most of it. Her 3-point attempt is off the mark.
And Jen, you mentioned the fans. We're talking about Coach K and the fans. These Virginia Tech fans, we've done a few Virginia Tech games this year. They have stepped up, and you can hear the Let's Go Hokies chants. They are starting to draw a good amount of fans, and it's helped this team have a great home court. Virginia Tech is undefeated at home in ACC play so far this season.
Amor driving the baseline, the reverse, she had it. Just couldn't finish. The Hokies 8-0 at home in ACC play. The last time they had a perfect home record in conference play was the 98-99 season when they were in the Metro Conference. Johnson. 8 to shoot for the Wolfpack. Perez spinning toward the basket, gets the finish with the left hand.
Reina Perez, just so underrated with that finish. And then how about this? Kai Crutchfield getting up and pressuring the ball. And they're saying this is off Virginia Tech.
So let's watch after the play. Well,
they can't review it because we're not under 2 minutes. So you can't review a play like that at this point. But that was an interesting call there.
So the Wolfpack get it back. And get the bucket from Johnson.
And there's a 4-point swing. You had the Georgia Amore missed layup, and then you had that play. Or sorry, 6-point swing, because you had the Reina Perez bucket, and then that too.
The Hokies had gotten it within 3. Now they turn it over and then commit the foul. Kayana Traylor reaching out.
14 foul. Second in for Hokies. Number 2, Asia Shepherd.
Shepherd back in the game.
Also
Kenny Brooks has been so open about talking about the conversations he's had throughout Asia Shepherd's career, and even admitted in the last game, which was a win against Miami for the Hokies, that he and Asia got into it a little bit during the game and said, you know what though? She was the adult. I got a little fired up and heated and said, fine, just keep doing what you're doing then. And she came back and said, no, coach, you're right. Let me fix this. And she did. And it was really key for them getting the win.
She made some big shots in that Miami game, but NC State, their depth, it continues to show through. As I've said, to bring Jada Boyd off the bench, who I think is one of the more talented 4 players in this league and is obviously going to have a much bigger role next year when all of these 5th-year seniors leave, but she has given them some great minutes off the bench.
This NC State team, high aspirations for this group. They already know they're the #1 seed in the ACC tournament. Regular season champs, at least a share of it, and great resilience from Traylor to just stay with it. Hard-fought 2 points. How far will this NC State team go?
Sorry about that, Jen. Especially after the previous possession, where she had the turnover and the foul. So a good job of keeping her head in the game.
Duke and Coach K set to have their last regular season game, their second to last, excuse me, only on ACC Network on Tuesday. You know who the last one is against. That would be North Carolina. But Duke and Pittsburgh coming your way Tuesday on ACCN. Our coverage beginning at 8 p.m. Eastern for that one. Shepherd driving, had it blocked. Casual block by Boyd.
Goodness gracious, Jada Boyd.
And then Shepherd picked the pocket. I think it's fair to say that from behind Johnson. Now she's out on the break.
Because of that Jada Boyd block, that's one of the many reasons why Shepherd passed that ball out. She was thinking about how she just had her shot swatted to Roanoke on the previous possession.
Traylor with the drive. She is fouled.
And this is what I mean, sending that ball to another area code, Jada Boyd, making it look easy, and that's all ball. All ball for Jada Boyd.
Traylor on the line, and interestingly, Kelly, no field goal attempts this quarter for Kitley and Virginia Tech. That's got to be something you think Kenny Brooks is going to need to correct as they move forward.
Well, I think part of that, Jen, Virginia Tech's been playing very fast. This has been an up and down third quarter, so they haven't gotten the ball to Kitley as much in the half court. Now, Cunane's been pretty quiet in this quarter too, so it hasn't hurt them as much as you'd think.
5 points for Cunane. Kitley has 2, both of those coming from the free throw line. 5 points our deficit as it was at halftime in the game. Crutchfield for Cunane, and the tap by Amore. There's a foul against Virginia Tech. Kitley has 2 in the game. Let's see who they whistle for this one. It is on Kitley, it's her 3rd.
That's big. And Georgia Amore did all she could. This was a great strip, but Cunane, with the presence of mind, finds a way to get that ball back. And at this point, who really cares? The free throws are important, sure, but the 3rd foul on Kitley is big.
Pick your ACC Player of the Year. Is it the best player on the best team in the league, NC State's Elisa Cunane, or is it Liz Kitley, who has incredible numbers, top 2 in the league in scoring and rebounding, first in field goal percentage, but now in some foul trouble.
It's one of those debates that we have often, Jen. Is it the best player on the best team? Is it the most outstanding player, the most dominant when you look at the numbers? The other factor here is that Cunane only plays 25 minutes a game. So that adds to her lack of numbers as well.
Johnson missed everything, but Boyd cleaned it up right before the buzzer to end the third quarter. And the Wolfpack staying out in front. Virginia Tech got it within 3 in the third quarter, but NC State trying to hang on, get one more ACC win, claim that regular season title outright. Let's take a look at our most recent bracketology with Charlie Creme and who he's got in from the ACC. A lot of teams can make their case here, and Kelly, I know Boston College, one of those teams that you think has been pretty impressive here down the stretch.
I think Boston College is a tournament team. Now, their non-conference is not much to write home about, but what they've done in the ACC, winning 10 games, beating Notre Dame, and the way they've dominated as of late, I think they're in. We'll see if my friend Charlie Creme is listening to me in the committee, but I think they're in.
Another basket for Jada Boyd. She has 10 now for the Wolfpack. And you talk so much about the depth of this NC State team, Kelly. Of course, we're talking a lot about Cunane. You're going to. She's the preseason ACC Player of the Year. It's an All-American last year, ACC Tournament MVP, but then there are so many other terrific players around her.
There are, and I think Jada Boyd's been the X factor tonight. Kitley and Shepard in double figures for Virginia Tech, Jones and Cunane for NC State, and now Boyd. And her 11 points off the bench, plus what she's done defensively, to me, she's the difference right now.
Shepard with the dish to Baines.
The Hokies are hanging around you, and they have to get some stops, but I think they have to knock down multiple threes in these final 9 minutes. That's the only way for me, pairing that with some defensive stops. That's the way Virginia Tech finds a way to win this game.
Virginia Tech, number 1 in the ACC in three-pointers made, number 2 in three-point percentage, team ahead of them, the Wolfpack. But in conference play, Hokies the best by percentage when it comes to three. And Shepard wanted that connection that worked out so well the last time. She went back to Baines, but the Wolfpack ready for it. Tie him up, and possession arrow in favor of NC State.
Asia Shepard's got to keep that basketball. First of all, Jada Boyd is one of the best hedge and recover players in the ACC. Did a great job of being ready for that, but Asia Shepard going to her right needs to keep that ball, pull up, or take it to the rim.
Now remember, Kitley has 3 fouls, make it 4.
This is huge. One thing Cunane does so well, and Kitley has a tendency at times to settle more for the jumper. Cunane is going to attack you. She's going to make a quick move, use 1 or 2 dribbles, and go to the rim. She's going to force the officials to make a call, to make a decision. And Kitley, obviously frustrated, thought she had her hands up. There was some contact between Kitley's left arm and Cunane. I think that's a good foul, but that's the pressure Cunane puts on a defender because she's so quick to put the ball on the floor and get to the rim.
19 points in the game for Cunane. Now 20, and she adds to that career free throw record at NC State. Amor, once again, showing off that crossover and the space it can create. Cunane, they're going to her again. This time it's Gregg who commits the foul. Lisa Cunane right now, Kelly, just saying, I'm going to try to make you stop me without fouling, whoever you are.
Guys, this is so special. This is so special from Cunane and Diamond Johnson. Cunane made eye contact with her, turned her head back. They made eye contact, and Diamond Johnson threading the needle like a quarterback hitting his slot receiver. Woo! You should not be able to run the floor at 6'5", like Elisa Cunane does.
Well, that's why she's one of the best, not only in this league, but in the country. But missed both those free throws. Had a chance to give NC State their biggest lead of the game. Instead, it stays at 10. And now Boyd is called for the foul for NC State. That's the first team foul against the Wolfpack in this quarter. 3 already for Virginia Tech.
Cunane is one of the best free throw shooters in the ACC and definitely one of the best post player free throw shooters in the country. So to go over from the line, that's very rare from Elisa Cunane.
So Kitley on the bench with 4 fouls. And the Wolfpack looking to extend their lead. Boyd so calm and composed. Baines did enough defensively. Where has Asia Shepard gone? No points for the Hokies' all-time leading scorer in the second half. Can she change that now? She does!
Right on cue, and she knew that her team needed her right there. Big 3 from Asia Shepard to cut into this lead late in the fourth.
With Liz Kitley on the bench with 4 fouls, now more than ever, it is Asia Shepard time. And Kelly, she hits a 3, her first points since the second quarter.
And you can see that sigh of relief, that focused look on her face. And Jen, there are many rules in life, right? But one of the main rules, guys, is you can't go under the screen on Asia Shepard. She is gonna hit a 3 ball in your face. And that's what she did, keeping Virginia Tech in this game as Kitley sits on the bench with 4 fouls.
Wes Moore said this game could very well come down to who makes their 3s. Yes, you've got that big battle in the paint that we've been talking about all night long with Cunane and Kitley. Here's Cunane going to work on Baines with Kitley on the bench. But both of these teams have shooters, good shooters from the perimeter. And Virginia Tech probably needing to hit a few more than they have so far. They're 6 for 20 from 3. NC State hasn't taken that many. They're just 1 for 8.
I stand by what I said at halftime. I think they have to get to double-digit made 3s if they're going to win this game. They're at 6 right now, as you said, Jen. On that previous play, they helped down. 2 different Virginia Tech players helped down. They effectively tripled Cunane. Because Kitley's not out there, they're going to have to help off, and that's where NC State shooters could come into play.
Cunane, offensive foul, Decanter right on the baseline, ready with the call. That is 3 now on Cunane.
And a great job by Deasia Gregg taking the charge. Does a great job of selling it, and what they're really calling is Cunane lowering that shoulder right into Gregg, and Gregg sold it right in front of Decanter.
Shepard wants another. Rebound there for the taking. It'll go to the Wolfpack. That was an area of focus for this team, has been really the last few weeks, an area that Wes Moore feels his team needs to get a bit better at. And Gregg drew enough contact again, no whistle. But it does result in a turnover. Kelly Amore got all the way to the basket and still tried to pass it. Maybe would have been better off to take her own shot there.
Georgia Amore had a good look at the basket. That time she was just overpassing. And look, we've seen this with NC State and Virginia Tech, the 2 best 3-point shooting teams in the ACC, and both struggling a bit today from beyond the arc.
So initially, the officials, one of them pointed the way of NC State. Crowd went nuts. They can't review this, but they can talk amongst themselves and make sure they get whoever had the best look at it to make the call.
Diamond Johnson.
It is. Our crowd in Castle Coliseum made sure that they were very aware of that on the floor.
That's what your home crowd is supposed to do, Jen. Just keep chatting with those officials every once in a while.
Shepard. Another miss. Gregg playing some big minutes here with Kitley on the bench. That's foul number 4 on Cunane.
Deasia Gregg has been instrumental in these last couple of minutes. Great job by her to grab that offensive rebound. And now Cunane has 4 fouls. So she got the 3rd foul on Cunane. She just got the 4th foul on Cunane. She has been, so far, in these first 4.5 minutes of this 4th quarter, the most valuable Hokie with what she's done on both ends of the floor.
You talk about X factors and other players stepping up, someone beyond the big names and the matchups that we're all going to talk about. I think you're spot on, Greg. What a key moment in the game. So now with 5.5 left, Canaan goes to the bench, and we'll watch how these two coaches play it. When, Kelly, will they decide to bring their Player of the Year candidates back on the floor?
This is the game within the game. It's going to be a fascinating decision. I know for sure, Jen, you won't see either of these players before the next media. Now, if that media gets down to the 2-minute mark, then that's different. But the next dead ball under the 5-minute mark will be a media. You won't see either of them, at least before then, I don't think.
Certainly the onus on Kenny Brooks and Virginia Tech if his team continues to trail to probably have to put Kitley back in there. They're down 5 at the moment. Shepard has Amor to her right, finds her in the corner. Boyd and Hobby defending, but then they left Amor. And Crutchfield, all 5'9" of her, and I think that's generous with the bun on her head, grabs the rebound.
That's a bun height, Jen. That's definitely a height plus bun.
Brown Turner to the basket is fouled. So we've been talking all night long about which player from these respective teams will win ACC Player of the Year. Is it Kitley? Is it Canaan? We'll talk more about it when we come back. Two childhood friends from Summerfield, North Carolina, battling it out, facing off tonight with Player of the Year dangling in the balance. Those are the numbers for Canaan and Kitley throughout the regular season. But Kelly, I know you also wanted to do a little math and see what their numbers were when you looked at it per 40 minutes.
Yeah, shout out to her Hoop Stats, who has all these advanced stats. So they put these numbers, but then they do a formula to see what they would do per 40 minutes. And per 40 minutes, it's very, very similar. Kitley leading in the block category, but we've talked about it. Canaan plays 25 minutes a night. Kitley plays 33. That's because the Hokies, even though they have blown out a lot of teams, they generally need Kitley to play later in games and more fourth quarters. And NC State has Camille Hobby as well. So both of these players, whoever wins the ACC Player of the Year, it's going to be one of these two, will be very, very deserving, Jen.
Both of them on the bench at the moment with 4 fouls, 20 points in the game for Canaan, 17 for Kitley. Her team trailing NC State by 6 now with 4:24 to go. Amor into Greg, who once again draws a foul. This will be the 4th team foul on the Wolfpack. So both teams will be in the bonus with their next foul committed. And let's welcome Kitley back into the game. So Kenny Brooks is ready to roll the dice.
And we'll see what Wes Moore does. The chess match continues between these two head coaches.
Kayla King, by the way, also has 4 fouls for Virginia Tech, so something to keep an eye on. One of the Hokies' best shooters, one of the best by percentage in the ACC from 3. Here is Kitley, 5 on the shot clock. Hobby doing a tremendous job defensively. Kitley forced to fade away. Off balance.
Great defense from Camille Hobby. She knows that Kitley wants to face up and pull it. And Hobby's doing a great job of not letting her get that shot off and being so up in her grill that she feels like she can't put the ball on the floor either.
So we had a Jakia Brown-Turner free throw, but neither team with a made field goal in over 3 minutes. Shepard. This again, hit a big three, but
they've just really locked in defensively. I wouldn't say that they're necessarily taking bad shots. It just feels like the intensity of the moment. Both of these teams are playing really good defense in that stretch where they've each struggled to score the ball.
Wolfpack, the heavy advantage in the all-time series, 24-2, as the officials not buying any sort of a foul on that play, but then surprisingly, Jones didn't make the wide open layup. Might have been too open when she turned around. But The last game here, absolutely unforgettable. Went to overtime. Camille Hobby, who just committed that foul for NC State, hit the three to send it to overtime, and then Virginia Tech set an NCAA record with 26 points in overtime. Asia Shepherd had 18 of them as they pulled off the upset. First time ever that they got a win against a top 14.
For your Hokies, number 11.
Canaan
And
back
look
on
who
the
it
floor
is,
now as
Jen.
well.
She's back.
Coach Hayes' final game at Cameron Indoor is Saturday. ACC Network will be there with a unique and exclusive look at this historic game against the Tar Heels. Our coverage begins at 4:30 Eastern from Duke with a Nothing But Net pregame show. And at 6, get an alternate view of the game inside Cameron, as well as a Coach K cam. So lots going on there, as well as our coverage in addition to ESPN's game telecast on Saturday. 1 for 2 from the free throw line for Kitley. Still no field goals in the second half for Kitley. And what a play by Emily Lytle. Takes it away. She's a little off balance, and then they're going to say Reina Perez had it, was out of bounds, and so it'll be Virginia Tech basketball.
You can tell how much each of these teams wants this game. Look at the hustle between Lytle and Reina Perez continuing to go at it. The only reason we have a whistle is because Reina Perez was lying on the baseline when she recovered that basketball.
Once again, 5-point deficit for Virginia Tech. The Hokies have never led in this game tonight. They got it to within 3 the last quarter. And NC State has just held strong. Amore wants Shepherd for 3. Around and in this time for Shepherd.
What a pass by Georgia Amore. She's always looking for her senior. She's always looking for Shep. Shep stepped into that shot and made, I would say, one of the bigger threes of her career.
Perez, boy, had a chance to silence everybody. Instead, it's a chance for Shepherd and the Hokies to take the lead. The drive to the basket by Amore, and we're tied!
Shep returns the favor, could have pulled up, but hit Georgia Amore, who takes it all the way to the rim. We are in for an amazing finish here in Blacksburg.
What will the final minute have in store? NC State playing for that outright regular season title. Virginia Tech playing for history. Their first ever double bye in the ACC tournament. Canaan, Kitley cannot foul. Canaan knows it.
What a move. What a move by Elisa Cunane. Faked right, went to her baby hook, which Westmore loves, and silences the crowd a little bit here in Castle.
22 points for Elisa Canaan. Ball on the floor. Plenty of timeouts left for NC State in particular, all of them. 2 for Virginia Tech. And there is a 30-second timeout on the floor. Quick break for us as well. Don't go anywhere. 24.1 to play, a 2-point game. Both teams in their huddles. You get a look at what they've got remaining. 3 timeouts left for NC State, 2 for Virginia Tech. Both teams in the bonus with the next foul, so free throws coming. And Kelly, I have to assume Virginia Tech right now down 2. Gonna play this out, right? There's a little bit of a difference between shot clock and game clock, although we know our officials are looking at the clock at the moment, so we're gonna see exactly what happens there. So game clock now to 25.6, 16 on the shot clock, 17.
I think you play this out if you're Virginia Tech, especially because NC State has so many good free throw shooters. And with the 5 that Westmore's putting on the floor right now, all very, very capable free throw shooters. You can get a stop here and you'll have plenty of time to go score. You can call timeout and advance the ball, so I say play it out.
Just 8 points for NC State in this fourth quarter. 15 for Virginia Tech as they've made this a 2-point game. Where else would they go? Canaan had it affected at least by Kitley. Now timeout. Virginia Tech can advance the basketball. Here we go. 12.4.
Timeout, Virginia Tech.
What a defensive stop here. Kitley's playing with 4 fouls. She does a good job of contesting that. That probably could have been called a foul, Jen. I think there was a little contact, but it was minimal. They let it go, and now Virginia Tech has a chance to either tie or take the lead.
All right, Kelly, what are they talking about? Kenny Brooks is coming over to that huddle. They're down 2. Kitley, by the way, has not made a field goal since the first half.
This is an interesting situation for Kenny Brooks because Asia Shepherd has shot the ball well in this second half. She's your all-time leading scorer. She's your 5th-year senior. Kitley, though, is perhaps the best player in the league, but you're right, she's had a little bit of a slower second half. I would say, now I'm not paid to coach, Jen, okay, so let's be clear. I think you put the ball in the hands of Asia Shepherd, see if you can get her a look, and you send Kitley to the glass. That's what I would do in this situation. But look, Kenny Brooks, much more qualified than me.
18 points, 7 rebounds in the game for Kitley. Shepherd with 16 and 6 rebounds of her own. Elisa Canane leading all scorers with 22 points for NC State.
And keep in mind, Cunane has that 4th foul, as does Kitley. So that's one reason why you may want to go into Kitley, just because you're, Cunane, let's see, I believe Cunane is on the bench. Okay,
yeah.
There you go. That's a smart move by Wes Morgan.
Well, Camille Hobby has played some great defense when Cunane has gone to the bench. Shepherd gets the ball. Under 10 to play. Asia Shepherd steps back, contested 3, misses. There is Kitley trying to get the rebound. She couldn't. Ball still on the floor. And that's it. Virginia Tech took their shot. Kitley was there for the rebound, was maybe a fingertip away, and NC State escapes with a 2-point win.
So they did what I suggested, but it didn't work, Jen. So there you go. I mean, look, Asia Shepherd got a good look. That was a tough shot, though. She pump faked and had to alter her shot in the air. It was great defense by Kayla Jones, and Kayla Jones really altered that look for Asia Shepherd. You also had Jakia Brown-Turner guarding Kitley. So in hindsight, you may have wanted to attack that, but in the end, you got your all-time leading scorer, a good look from 3. That's what you're supposed to do as a coach.
Well, there's so much respect. You could probably see it right there between Wes Moore and Kenny Brooks for these 2 programs. And Virginia Tech now is going to have to play an extra game in that ACC tournament. They will drop out of the top 4. They don't get the double bye. North Carolina celebrating right now in Chapel Hill. The Tar Heels get the double bye as Virginia Tech falls to the 5 seed, and NC State now the outright ACC regular season champs.
Jen, I just want to give a shout out to the Virginia Tech fans who have really started to embrace this program. It's great to see. If you win, if you build it, they will come. That is being shown in Castle Coliseum tonight. And I would say this is one of the best regular season games that we saw all season. So shout out to both of these teams. What a way to finish the regular season. And let's do it again in Greensboro. Can't wait for the ACC tournament.
It is coming right up next week. The NC State Wolfpack, your ACC regular season champs for the first time since 1990. But this Virginia Tech Hokie team gave them a run in their final game at Castle Coliseum in the regular season. Final score 68-66 in favor of NC State. For Kelly Gramlich, I'm Jen Hildreth saying so long from Blacksburg.